Now look, today's story is one of those that makes you shake your head and wonder, how many times are we going to see this happen before something changes? This is the story of Sonya Massey, a woman from Illinois who did what we're all told to do when we feel unsafe. She called 911. But instead of help, she got tragedy. And now the former sheriff's deputy who pulled the trigger, Sean Grayson, is finally standing trial for her unaliving. Look, y'all sit back and relax and stay into the end of this episode because we about to break down what happened, what's coming out in court, and why this case is one of the biggest stories in police accountability right now. Welcome back to another episode of Eyes Low, Belly Full. As y'all know, this marks episode 179. So let's rewind for a quick second. Sonya Massey was home in Springfield, Illinois. She called 911 because she thought that someone was outside of her house, maybe trying to break in. She was scared, so she did what most people would do. Call for help. When Deputy Sean Grayson arrived, he and another officer went inside the home to check things out. But instead of calming the situation down, things got tense. According to reports, Sonya had a pot of hot water in her hand. Maybe it was out of fear, maybe to protect herself. Now, the prosecution says that Grayson completely lost control. He got angry, he shouted at her, and within seconds, he shot her down. I mean, let that sink in for a second. A woman calls the police for help, and she ends up being the victim.
What took you so long to answer the door?
Oh, I was trying to put on some clothes, sir. I'm sorry. I was trying to get...
I got you. All right. Is there anything else we can do for you?
Huh?
Is there anything else I can do for you?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. All right. You doing all right mentally?
Yes.
Sure?
My medicine and stuff.
All right. Okay.
I love y'all. Thank y'all.
All right.
Got my paperwork.
I will get your paperwork.
What paperwork?
Okay. I got some paperwork.
Well, just get your ID real
Well, let's
quick.
get your ID first, and then...
One task at a time here.
Okay. Let me
Here, grab your ID for me.
Okay.
Your ID. One task at a time. So let's do an ID, and then you can dig around for your paperwork.
I don't know where my ID is.
You just in that stack right there, maybe?
1 second.
Just check on her.
Let me get this.
No, we don't need a fire while we're here.
Right. Okay. Let me see. Okay.
All right.
Where you going?
Huh?
Where you going?
Away from your hot steaming water.
Away from my hot steaming water?
Yeah.
Oh, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Huh?
Rebuke you in the name of
You better fucking not. I swear to God, I'll fucking shoot you right in your fucking face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the fucking drop the fuck.
And fast forward to now, Grace is on trial for first-degree unaliving, and the case is already emotional. I mean, the body cam footage, which the jurors saw, reportedly left people in tears. Now, the prosecution argument is simple. Grayson didn't follow his training. There was no real threat. They say he got mad, overreacted, and took a life for no reason. But the defense, of course, tells a different story. They say Grayson feared for his life because of a pot of hot water. They claim he thought Sonya was going to attack him, and he reacted in the heat of the moment.
I'm not a lawyer, but today was day one of Illinois versus Sean Grayson. Sean Grayson is the former sheriff's deputy who took the life of Sonya Massey in July of 2024. And while I'm not able to do full recaps on this case because it is not being streamed, there were a few things that happened today that I want you to know about. Number one is the charges. Sean Grayson is charged with first-degree murder. He was originally charged with first-degree murder, official misconduct, and aggravated battery with a firearm, but those last two charges were dropped, and so that only leaves the first-degree murder charge. And if you're not a lawyer, like me, you may be thinking that first-degree requires premeditation. So why would they charge him with that? But here's what I learned. In Illinois, premeditation is not a required element for first-degree murder. Taking someone's life without justification or a legal reason to do so is alone enough to be charged with first-degree murder in Illinois. And so that's why he's charged with that. And just for context, Sean Grayson's defense is that he was justified in shooting Sonya Massey. During opening statements, his attorney argued Sean Grayson believed he was going to suffer great bodily harm from the boiling pot of water that Sonya had if he did not discharge his firearm. And quick refresher in case you need it, according to the report that Sean Grayson wrote after this incident, he said that Sonya Massey was holding a pot of boiling water, and after he told her to put it down, she told him, quote, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." Sean Grayson believed that statement to mean that she was going to kill him, and so in defense of himself, he says he withdrew his weapon and discharged it. And that leads me to thing you should know number 2, and that is that Sean Grayson's former partner and the man who was with him on the night of this incident was the third witness of the day. And his testimony? According to tweets from WICS ABC 20 and reporting from WCIA, Deputy Dawson Farley, who was Grayson's former partner, testified that Sonya Massey did say, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." And when she said it, Deputy Farley was confused by it, but he did not see it as a threat. Farley testified, quote, "She," meaning Sonya Massey, "never did anything that made me think she was a threat. It was essentially the defendant's actions that raised my sense of awareness." Deputy Farley went on to testify that he did not see or hear anything that made him want to draw his weapon, and the only reason he did draw his weapon was because Sean Grayson drew his. And their officer training tells them that when one officer draws their weapon, their partner should also draw theirs. Deputy Farley then testified about what happened after the shooting. Now, if you've been following this case, you know that after the weapon was discharged, Deputy Farley wanted to get a towel to try and apply pressure and try to help Sonya Massey. But Sean Grayson's response to that was that it was a headshot and that there was nothing they could do.
But here's where things get messy. Turns out that Grayson wasn't exactly the model officer before this. Reports say that he'd worked at multiple law enforcement agencies, and some of his past behaviors already had raised red flags. And critics call him what's known as a wandering officer. You know, someone that keeps getting hired by different departments, even after getting in trouble elsewhere. And honestly, that's one of the biggest issues in law enforcement today. I mean, after Sonya's unaliving, Illinois even passed a new piece of legislation nicknamed Sonya Massey's bill. And it's supposed to make it harder for officers with sketchy records to bounce around from department to department without accountability. So at least some change is coming from this tragedy. But for Sonya's family, that's just a small comfort. Now, Sonya wasn't committing a crime. She wasn't violent. She was scared. And instead of protection, she got panic and bullets. And now, a courtroom full of jurors in Peoria, Illinois, has to decide whether Grayson's fear was reasonable or whether it was just another excuse for using deadly force against someone who didn't deserve it. In cases like this, remind us of how thin the line can be between trust and tragedy when it comes to calling the police. I mean, it's hard to imagine what Sonya Massey must have felt in that final moment. You feel me? Like believing help had arrived only to realize it hadn't. And whether Grayson is convicted or not, one thing is clear. The system needs fixing, because if someone could call 911 and end up unalived in their own home, something's deeply broken. Look, y'all go ahead and let me know y'all opinion on the situation in the comment below. And if this video resonated with you, go ahead and hit that like button. Give me a thumbs up and also subscribe and hit that bell notification for more episodes. I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Peace.